This is Sharma solution. We are taking class 12th probability and this is the 6th exercise. An unbiased coin is tossed if the result is head. A pair of unbiased dice is rolled and the sum of the numbers obtained is noted. If the result is a tail, a card from a well-shuffled pack of 11 cards numbered 2 to 12 is picked and the number on the card is noted. What is the probability that the noted number is either 7 or an 8? Now it's a different kind of question, a good question. So first of all, we have a coin and this coin leads to two decisions. So this coin can produce a head or can produce a tail. Now if head comes, then two die, that is a pair of unbiased dice, that means two dice we are talking about. So these dice are rolled. This is only happening when head is coming, or head is the outcome of the coin. So the addition of the number which appears on these dice are or has to be 7 or 8. So it can be a 7, it can be an 8. Now if the outcome is a tail, when you toss a coin, if tail comes, a card is taken from 2 to 12. That is, there are 11 cards. Number 2 to 12. These are not that deck of cards which we talked about. This is just some random cards from 2 to 12 numbers. So the number which appears in this card should be either 7 or an 8. So both the cases, if head comes, the two dice are rolled and the number should come as 7 or 8, the addition of these two numbers. Tail, the number which is picked up from the card should be 7 or 8. So we make two events C1 and E2. So the coin can produce head or can give us a tail. So the coin shows head is E1, then coin shows tail, that comes to the tail. This is the second case. Now let's compute the probability here. See, probability is half and half. Probability of getting a head and tail are equal. So when you have 1 as the final probability, 1 by 2 is the equal probability. Now what do we want to have? We're calling A as whatever is the result of this question, or the question is asking about something, we call it as A. So number which appeared or number noted is either 7 or 8. So it can be the sum of the number on the two die or the number which is picked up from the card. Now probability of getting a 7 or 8 if the coin shows head. And the second probability will be the probability of getting 7 or 8 if tail appears. So PA by E1 is when head appears, what is we are going to get on the dice, and when the tail appears, what are we going to get in the cards. So what is the probability of getting a 7 or an 8? So for 7 we can have 1 6, 6 1, 4 3, 3 4, 2 5, 5 2. So I'm writing the 8 number first. 4 4, 2 6, 6 2, 6 4, but it has to be 6 2. There is a slight mistake here. Please correct it. 5 3, 3 5, and as I mentioned earlier, so 2 5 and 5 2 also. So in all there are 11 number of elements in this set of getting a 7 or an 8 as an addition of two dice being tossed is this one. So when you toss a coin, the total number of cases are 36, 6 into 6, and number of favorable cases are this 11 by 36. Coming to the second part, so the card can produce 7 or 8, so there are two possibilities only, and in all there are 11 cards. It's given in the question. So 2 by 11 is the probability of getting 7 or 8 when a card is randomly picked from 2 to 12. So now applying the law of probability. So probability of A, what is that probability of A? It's probability of E1 multiplied by probability of A by E1. You know why we are doing it by now. PE2 multiplied by PA by E2. It's not divided, right? A divided by A2 it is not like that. It is just that if we are aware of E2, what is the probability of A? That is, if we are aware of, say, head, what is the probability of getting 7 or 8? Or what is, if we know that it is tail, what is the probability of getting 7 and 8? So let's put the probabilities which we have already computed. PE1 and PE2 are already half, which we discussed earlier. PA by E1 has been computed as 11 by 36, and PA by E2 is being computed as 2 by 11. So this whole comes out to be 193 divided by 792. This is your answer. Now this is how this will be done. This is how you are going to write it. It's a good question and you must do it twice or thrice. A factory has two machines, A and B. Past records show that the machine A produced 60% of the items of output and machine B produces 40% of the items. Now A produces 60. So if 100 we are talking, 60 comes from A, machine A, and 40 comes from the machine B. For the 2% of the item produced by machine A were defective and 1% produced by machine B were defective. So 1% out of this 100, or 1 out of this 100 are defective. Sorry, 2 for A it is 2 and for B it's 1%. So if an item is drawn at random, what is the probability that it is defective? So we have to find out the probability of the item being defective. So A is what is expected, that is item being drawn is defective. This is the question and this is the A which we would like to answer, probability of A. PA is what is sought. E1 we are selecting as, or we are taking as, machine A is being selected. So this is E1 and E2 is machine B is being selected. So machine B is selected comes out to be E2. Now we'll apply the law of probability. That's why we need this E1 and E2. So this is A, machine A. This is machine B. 60% of the output is coming from A. So what does it mean? A gives 60%, B gives 40%. So 60 by 100 you can write, and B for that B can give us 40 by 100 as mentioned in the question also. 2% of the item produced by machine A are defective. So if we have chosen an item which happens to be coming from machine A, 2 out of 100 items are defective. Now when we choose an item from B, the item chances of being defective is 1 by 100. So probability of item being defective if machine A is selected. So this is already given in the question. It's simply 2 by 100. 2 by 100 we can write. The probability of when we choose machine 2 and the items are defective, item is defective, is 1 by 100 which is given here. There is A DF written. We just corrected it to BE def. So 1 by 100 it is. Now let's apply the law of probability. Now how does this work? Probability of A, PA, is PE1 multiplied by PA by E1 and PE2 multiplied by PA by E2. So PE1 has to be multiplied by what? A by E1. This is E1. And PE2 multiplied by PA by E2. So A by E1, A by E2. With E1 it is A by E1. With E2 it is A by E2. Now this 60 by 100 is what? Probability of machine is selected, A is selected. It's already given in the question, 60 by 100. And probability of E2 is what? It's 40 by 100. That is probability that the machine B is selected, which is 40% of the time. The 40% product is coming from B. 60% product is coming from A. So let's put these values 60 by 100. PE2 is 40 by 100. PA by E1 is 2 by 100 and PA by E2 is 1 by 100. So when we compute this, is 120 divided by 10000, 160. So it will be 0.016. So 0.016%. Why we are writing in percentage? Because question is all in percentages. This is your answer. So this is how you are going to write it whenever you happen to write it. All right. Now this question, and there is another question which is coming up, and I'm just skipping it for a while. Why? Because there are 3 or 4 questions like this coming up. So rather than explaining all of this exact same question we have already completed in the question 1 to 4. 2 questions were there, 1 and 3, and 2 or 3 more questions are coming up. So what we'll do is, I'll just show you the reference here. If you have any problem, you can refer. This also the same question we are talking about, exactly similar question. And this also I'm going to show you the reference. And the last question of this type, exactly this type, we are going to solve it. Actually, we have done it already. But in order to complete this exercise, we will do the final question, which is on this theme, on this exact theme. So I'm just showing you the question which are already completed. This question we are going to take in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much. Have a good one.